Hey guys, Mark Holthe jumping on here live on our Express Entry Law Facebook group. And this is a completely unscheduled broadcast. I just wanted to share a few things that were really awesome today. And as many of you know, it's not just about teaching about Express Entry, but giving you a taste of what life is really like in Canada. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So not only within our group, but this is going to get pushed out to the YouTube channel and hopefully to the world. But over the last little stretch here, we here in the Western provinces, well, let me start from this. You can see I'm wearing my Calgary Flames hockey jersey today, and I actually wore it to the office, as did most of our staff here and many people all across Canada. And Canadians tend to be a fairly tight-knit people. In other words, we are, we genuinely care about one another. And, when one person is succeeding, we celebrate their success. And when others are going through tough times, we rally around them and support them. And that's exactly what has happened lately here in Canada. And I just want to share something that's, it was a really, really sad story. Some of you may have seen it. But what happened was, and I'm going to blow this, actually, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, if I can remember how to do this here. I'm going to share my screen with you, my messy screen. And I think you guys can see this. And I'm going to enlarge this so everybody can see. Hockey is a big part of what we do in Canada. It's really our pride and joy kind of national sport. And we have a lot of different levels of teams, all the way up to our professional league, the National Hockey League. And that's the Calgary Flames is the jersey that I'm wearing. But there was a hockey team in Saskatchewan, a junior hockey team, that was traveling to one of their playoff games. And unfortunately, there was a terrible accident, and 16 members of the team died in the accident. And it was just horrific. I'm not sure if there's any other pictures really. This is their athletic trainer that passed away. But these are all kids that are under 21 years old. And this is a website showing all their pictures and their coaches and everyone that passed away in this terrible accident. And I'm not going to show the pictures of the accident. You can look at it yourself. But anyways, when something like this, it's never happened like this in our country. Devastation. There was their bus that was traveling collided with a tractor trailer, a semi truck, a large transport truck, and 16, like I said, 16 of these young hockey players were killed, as well as other people that were traveling with them. And there's a little bit less than half of them that survived as well. But the whole country has rallied around them, and today was a special day. I'm going to see if I can find the link. So today was a jersey day that the whole it's hard to talk about, actually. Okay, I'm going to compose myself here. So today was a special day where Canadians stood behind all of these hockey players, their team, their families, and everybody, because when something like this happens, nothing like doing a Facebook Live video and not being able to stay composed. Anyways, when something like this happens, our country rallies around each other, and that's what we are best known for. So all over the country, it was designated as Jersey Day to tribute the victims and their families and all of them that suffered, including the ones that are still in hospital, all these kids. And so all of these people all over the world, all over Canada, really, we wore our jerseys today. And you can see here, let's see if I can blow this up. Our firm was no different. So let's see if I can make this a little bit larger. So these are some of the pictures. We have offices across Alberta. And so these are, this is our office up in Grand Prairie. And then this is us here at the Lethbridge office, Stringham. And the Stringham office in Lethbridge. And so we all wore our jerseys, and they're all for sometimes they're different sports. They're not even hockey. we've got all of our different teams that we support. But the reality is everybody came and in support of these families in this devastation. And, and there was a GoFundMe campaign that was launched to raise money for the families. And I wanted to show you this. It is unbelievable. As of today, and this campaign's only been going for 5 days for these hockey players, they had a goal of about 4 million, and it's over 10 million now. And, so it's just something that gives me an unbelievable amount of pride in our country. And I wanted to share it with all of you guys, because this is what Canada's about. We are not just, a good country with good education that has an excellent healthcare system for you, that has good opportunities for jobs, but we are full of caring communities, citizens who genuinely love and are concerned about and for one another. When bad things happen, we rally around, we celebrate the successes of others, and this is what it means to be Canadian. And just the other day, just last night, I had the pleasure of doing a live seminar here in Lethbridge on Canadian citizenship. And as I think about the value of Canadian citizenship, it is, and I'm going to go back to this screen again, guys. This is what it's about. It's truly about these things. When we all rally around each other and we support each other and we do all we can to just help one another when times are tough and when things are just not going good. And I can't imagine what those families are going through. But just for them to know that we're all behind them and we support them is what makes me proud to be a Canadian. So I wanted to share that with all of you guys today. And that was the first thing. So check it out. They're called the Humboldt Broncos, and they are in Humboldt, Saskatchewan, which is the province right beside Alberta. And these young hockey players, and if I flip back here to this screen here, make sure that I'm sharing it with you guys. These young players and this whole accident that happened, we reach out to them and in our way and keep them in our prayers and their families. And yeah, it's just a terrible, terrible tragedy, but has had the unbelievable effect of rallying our whole nation behind them for support. And then, like I said, this GoFundMe campaign, which has raised over $10 million to this stage. And you can see how many people have contributed, 119,133 people. So just very cool, and, taking a terrible tragedy and just demonstrating how awesome Canada is. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope you appreciate it. Now, with that being said, I also want to show you something else that is totally awesome. So one of the things I love doing is connecting with you guys, and it's awesome when I have the opportunity to do that in a live video scenario like we have here, and to be able to connect with you guys and share and teach you all about Express Entry is what I absolutely love. It's an unbelievable passion for me. But one thing I want to share with you guys is that every once in a while, I actually get to connect with you in person. And I have the opportunity to meet you. And it's rare. Trust me, it's really rare because you guys are all over the world. And generally speaking, you want to immigrate and live in Toronto or Vancouver or one of the larger cities, even Calgary or Edmonton in the province of Alberta. But I had the absolute most awesome, incredible opportunity, and I'm going to show you this here, guys, to meet a phenomenal little family right here, and you guys can see them. This family, Ada here on the left, is someone who just immigrated to Canada, was a part of our Express Entry Law Facebook group, and I'm sure she'll have an opportunity to jump on and comment about her experience and their process of immigrating to Canada. But her and her son and her husband, she's got 2 other older children, they immigrated to Lethbridge. And I had a chance to meet them today in person. And they are a phenomenal family. And I'm so excited that they've chosen to make their home here in Lethbridge. And I just wanted to share that with everybody. And I know we'll maybe get a chance to get Ada on live in one of our Express Entry Live little videos. But yeah, I wanted to share that. They came in to see me today in my office, and it was so cool. So those of you who are wondering, you can look up Ada. Actually, I'll share my screen one more time with you, and I'll show you just so you know who she is. Right here, if I share it. There we go. I got a couple things going on here. Turn off these notifications. How do I get rid of it? There we go. So this is Ada here. This is her Facebook page. But like I said, she is Dehora Edom. And actually, I think it's a little bit different in our group. But anyway, she is a long-term member of the group and one of the many, many people who are now landing and becoming permanent residents of Canada. And to my great pleasure, actually coming to live here in my hometown. And I'm so excited because I know that they're going to become friends. And yeah, it's really cool. So I thought I'd share that with all of you. All right. So I've gone through, shared a few things, and I hope you appreciate that it's not all just about teaching. And some of you may think, oh, Mark, I don't have time for this. And that's totally cool. But those of you who want to get a little bit of an insight on our lives and what it's like to be a Canadian, I just had to share this all with you. So I hope you appreciated it. But I'm not going to leave you guys without some teaching. And so one of the topics that I wanted to talk about today is, and actually, do you know what? I'm going to type this right onto the screen so that you guys can see. And here's the question, and let's see how it appears here on my screen. Okay, you guys can see this here. Maybe I'll slide it right down there for the time being. So the question is, how does illegal work right here, maybe I'll even stick it up here, and I'll slide over here and bring my mic up a little bit closer. But how does illegal work in another country affect Express Entry? And guys, I can tell you there has been an absolute, maybe I'll slide back here a little bit and then you can see that a little bit better, but there has been an absolutely unbelievable amount of people that have asked this question. How does this illegal work, if I was in a different country without status and I was working, how does that impact on my Express Entry? And there's been so many people who have heard stories or received advice or direction from people to not tell the truth and to hide it and to conceal it because they think that because of that, they're going to be inadmissible or not eligible for Express Entry. Well, here's the answer, guys. That is simply not the case. And in fact, when we're talking about Express Entry and we're thinking about the process that's involved in immigrating to Canada, what people are confusing is how Express Entry, and I'm just gonna, well, do you know what? Maybe I should just leave it there so people know what I'm talking about. And I'll just slide over here a little bit. But the reality is, when you are immigrating to Canada, there is a set number of factors that the government looks at when they're trying to determine whether or not to grant you permanent resident status. And when it comes to illegal work, it doesn't impact on the process. So let me explain. What people confuse it with is when they're applying for a visitor visa or to study or work in Canada. And at the foundation of all of those things is something called temporary intent. Do you intend to abide by the temporary conditions imposed by the Canadian government and Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada? If they grant you a temporary visa, will you abide by those temporary conditions and actually return home when your time has come up? And if you have been to another country and requested temporary status as a worker or a visitor or a student, and then remained beyond that time period, well, that's somewhat of an indication that you might do the same thing in Canada. So can the immigration department hold that against you when you're applying for a work permit or a study permit or a visitor visa? Absolutely, they can. They can totally hold it against you. And in many cases, it results in a refusal of your temporary status, but not for Express Entry. Now, unless Your status also led to some kind of formal action against you. You were charged with an offense for having done something in addition to being, out of status. But generally speaking, just because you have been working without authorization in another country does not mean that you are excluded from express entry. So the biggest problem I see is when people actually misrepresent on their application. So they lie in their personal history about what they've been doing. And then through who knows what means, maybe someone tips off the government, someone writes in what I call a poison pen letter to immigration and says, I know this person was working illegally, but they didn't disclose that in their application. Now that's rare, but I'm just giving that as an example. Anyways, it comes to immigration's attention for some reason. Then that's when you can really face problems because you have misrepresented on your application. You can get your application refused and you can be barred for 5 years. And I'll try to get this 5 right here, 5 years from being able to come to Canada. And you also need special permission to be able to even apply to come back. So when you're thinking about all of this, please understand that this right here, illegal work in another country or being out of status, does not impact negatively on express entry. And so regardless, even if it did, you will still have an obligation to be 100% truthful and honest in your applications. And I would encourage all of you guys to do that. So the next time you hear a consultant who tries to tell you not to tell the truth, fire them, get rid of them, and do not listen to them. All right. So guys, that is my little short impromptu video today, my little tip of the day with respect to illegal work. And I want to let all of you guys know that next Tuesday, I will be doing another Express Entry Live Q&A, and I will be bringing on another live guest on Tuesday because those are really cool. And I love bringing people on to talk about their experiences because it's real life. And I want to, if I even have it here, guys, do I even have it? Yes, I do. Remember always, right here, Express Entry, the complete step-by-step guide to doing it yourself. That course contains everything that I do. And it walks you through step-by-step through the whole process. So these little Express Entry videos that I do are all sponsored by this course. And there are tons of people that have taken it who have successfully navigated the process and now are permanent residents of Canada. And they've paid a fraction of the cost. They've saved a ton of time. And that's why I created it for all of you guys. So I strongly encourage you to consider purchasing a subscription to it because I wouldn't offer it if I didn't know it helped. All right. And some of you are probably wondering, well, Mark, how do we access that? And I think for most of you anyways, if I scroll down here, I'm going to pull this open and see if I can find the actual link that I wanted to share with you guys. Boy, I am not organized. I know you guys spend you guys are pretty patient with me and all my goofiness. But anyways, right here, that's where you can go to access the Express Entry complete step-by-step guide to doing it yourself. So check it out. Totally worth it. And I want to end by saying thank you to all of you guys for all that you do in supporting one another in the group, because I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm actually trying to create a little bit of Canada within our group, and you guys don't even know it. We are full of people that are helpful and kind and generous. And that is the culture that I have wanted to create in our group, which, guys, is now over 110,000 people. It is unbelievable how it's grown. And so it's all because of you and all of you awesome people that share and help and support one another that actually make the group useful. So thanks for tuning in. And I hope you guys enjoyed this quick Express Entry tip of the day. I didn't even get the proper banner up on here, but whatever, that's okay. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. And I will see you guys on Tuesday, unless I pop on here spontaneously again at noon Mountain Standard Time. And I guess I also should indicate something else. Let's see what I got on here. Okay, oh yeah, there's the tip of the day. That's not the one I'm looking for. Okay, no, I'm not looking for that one either. This is so awesome. There we go. This one and this one. Okay, and I'm going to take away this one. So EE Live, put that in your subject line. Send me an email to mholthy@stringham.ca, and I'll consider your question, if it's general in nature and beneficial for everyone, on my next EE Live Q&A next Tuesday at noon. Thanks, guys. Have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are all over the world. Mark Holthy, Canadian immigration lawyer, ex-immigration officer, and former high school teacher, signing off, wishing you guys all the best as you navigate this crazy process that we all know as express entry.